Oh, right under the boat. There we go. That didn't take long, Jeff. Nice walleye. Jeff's starting things out with a bit more of a challenge. He's going artificial. I decided it's time to cheat. Boom, I started with a jig and a minnow, and I think that made 3 casts. I had bites on 2 of my 3 casts. Holy cow, I'd say these Leech Lake fish are chunky. That is a beautiful walleye. All right, so we are on Minnesota's famed Leech Lake. It's fall time. This is just a great place, an amazing multi-species fishery, and we're primarily going to target walleyes today, but of course Leech is known for tremendous muskies. There's jumbo perch in here, the bluegills and the crappies are great, and this time of year the fish can be really concentrated, so Jeff and I pulled into a pretty well-known area for walleyes, and I get a feeling a lot of it's going to be the old jig and minnow. We're kind of mid to late October right now, and it's pretty tough to beat meat for walleyes this time of year. So got the spot lock on, make a few casts, and see if we can catch. So finding fish in these big flats on Leech can be a bit of a challenge, and if the fish are on the rocks, a lot of times it's pretty difficult to find them with a tool like side imaging, but if they get on the sand or the mud, they're a lot easier to see, and I think side imaging is one of the best tools for that. So right now we're fishing kind of a muddy area, sandy area that's got kind of mixed weeds. With side imaging, one of the biggest tips I can give you in running this stuff is that every time you're out, you want to mess with the settings, especially sensitivity. So if you're fishing a hard bottom area, rock, something like that, you want to turn your sensitivity down. If you're fishing a really muddy area that's got a lot of weed cover, you want to crank your sensitivity. A lot of times if I was fishing like a really muddy, weedy bay, I would have my sensitivity set on 20, and that's what's going to give you those nice white dots that will look like fish. So as you're scanning areas with side imaging on big flats like we're doing right now, crank that sensitivity up and it'll help you see those little grains of rice that are spread out over these flats. I'll be like there, you can see a little pack of them right there. So if you're looking at this, fish, 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 these are up high, and then those are the shadows. And then if we scroll over here, you can see a couple more fish right there. It's exactly what we're looking for. There we go. Walleye. Flipper. Woo! Nice fish. Boy, if you want to eat walleyes, if you're a big walleye man, of course you want the big ones, but I love walleyes, and that to me is one of the ultimate walleyes to catch right there. When I'm fishing, I'm gonna get this guy in the live well because he's gonna go home, but I'm fishing with the VMC Sleek jig, and I'll show you why I like this jig here for jig and minnow fishing. I'm gonna pass this one back to the box and go through this whole program here. All right, so I'm fishing with the VMC Sleek jig. This is a 3/8 ounce jig, and of course, the heavier the wind, the heavier the jig. And I like this jig because it's got this, more so than anything, it's got the really long shaft on it, and that seems like it's nice when you're kind of snap jigging minnows, dragging or snap jigging. I can get the minnow a little bit further down the shank of the minnow. I'm not trying to make this minnow look alive. I just want that hook a little bit further back, and then it's got that Texet bend on there, and that just seems like it really holds them pretty darn good. So that's been the program so far. It seems to be working. Pitch it out, drag it, let the wind do the work.
Come on.
Good boy, Jeff.
It's not even a harvest boon, Jared, but here we are.
Here we are.
Harvesting.
Ooh, you got a little whippersnapper there. What do you got?
I don't know.
Oh, wow, really nice fish, Jeff.
Ooh.
Yeah, man.
Ooh.
Good job.
Baby. Huh? It's fun, you know, you get these late fall days, you grab the boat and you go, right, Jared?
That's right.
Walleyes of Leech Lake. Famous fish. Awesome. So one thing that Jared mentioned, we're fishing late October, and the later the season gets, the more a guy should depend on live bait, or it's gonna It's the difference between catching them and not catching them. Some days I do have a jig and wrap rigged up, and that can work too, but boy, you'd be hard pressed. I think you should stop by the bait shop and get some live bait. It's just that scent can also make a difference. This time of year, cold water is kind of really the main ingredient as to when live bait's gonna really help you out.
There we go. All right. Nice walleye. Boy, it just really basically just dragged on the bottom. It's funny how their attitudes can just change so dramatically, how they can get tuned into stuff. That's a nice fish. Really nice fish. There we go. It's a beautiful walleye. Look at that guy. Hello. Oh, thank you, sir.
Sir.
Look at that. It's got the pretty fin going. You know, one thing about leech is loaded with perch, and it does seem like those perchy colors a lot of times can be the deal. So it's not always that they're eating perch. They can be on shiners, or they can be on crayfish, but I like that kind of green perchy pattern. So cool. Beautiful, beautiful walleye. Throughout the summer, there's fish spread all over the lake. They're in the weed beds, but there's really a big time movement of fish out into the rock reefs, and the main lake can be really good. But then again, in the fall, there's always that push of fish up a little bit shallower, especially into the weeds and on some of the shoreline main lake points, and that's what we're targeting right now. This is a pretty prominent structure in the lake, adjacent to some really shallow water. So it's a cool time of year when you've got a lot of fish that might be pushing out of the real shallow water, and then now you've got the Cisco's can get access to the shallow stuff too. So it's kind of this convergence of bait where a lot of the deep water fish can move up shallow. It's a good comfort range for them, and then some of the shallower fish are moving out to more stable water. So these are really good areas to look at. You know, areas around Boy Bay and Sucker and Portage where you've got those big shallow flats as they meet the deeper water can be some sweet zones to check out in October. There we go.
You got him, Jer.
Finally. Another walleye. Bring him right over here. Whoa. We can hold on to ourselves. All right, I might just whip this guy in.
Oh, wow.
Woo, that's a sweet fish.
I thought it was a little
This
one.
is awesome. I mean, these are really sweet fish. If you like catching walleyes, Leech has an amazing run of fish like this right now. I mean, look at how fat and healthy these things are. I mean, the forage in this lake right now is pretty incredible. It's loaded with, of course, rusty crayfish, but the perch population's high, and it looks like there's a lot of shiners around too, so totally dynamite. I'm gonna show you what I'm using to jig fish for these beauties right now. The setup I'm using for jigging walleyes right now is pretty straightforward. I've got St. Croix's Legend Tournament walleye, and this is what they call their mid-vertical jig rod. It's a bit longer rod, so it's a 7'3". So I know a lot of guys who jig fish end up with a 6'6" or 6'8". I personally like that little bit longer rod, especially lobbing minnows. I feel like it's easier to lob those minnows out a little ways away from the boat. Now this is a medium power with an extra fast action. Same thing there with that extra fast tip. These fish right now, I mean, you're just dragging that minnow on the bottom. There you got it. And you lift up and you can just watch that rod. It's just barely moving. You gotta let the fish just sit. There you got it. And pull on it for a little bit. Boy, you really gotta let them take it, don't you? If you feel them and set, you're just losing a minnow. Oh, darn it. That extra fast tip, I think, is a big deal. So the long rod in combination with the extra fast action, to me, is a great setup for pitching these jigs and dragging for walleyes. The reel I'm using for this walleye jigging is a really versatile setup. It's a ballistic 2500 and it's an MQ. Now, if you're not familiar with the MQ, this isn't just in ballistic, it's in a number of the reels in Daiwa's family. And this is what we've got right here. See this big circle on the side? So what makes MQ such a cool concept is that you can get a lot smaller frame but pack a bigger drive gear in there. So this isn't a two-piece reel where the side plates are glued together. This is a single-piece frame with this threaded side plate here, and you've got that big drive gear. So once you fish with one of these reels, you can feel how much lighter it is and how smooth it is and how much power it has because of that 20 to 30% larger drive gear in the reel. So you've got a much more compact system, and of course, fishing something that's lighter, and smoother just makes the experience all the better. And now when it comes to line, basically the same line that I'm using for most of my spinning reel applications. Suffix 832, 10 pound. I like the high-vis yellow. I know Jeff likes the high, that neon green, but whatever, something high-vis is really helpful for this. And then just a simple 10-pound fluorocarbon leader. If you're fishing in really calm conditions out here, sometimes you do have to go to a lighter fluorocarbon leader, maybe a 6 or an 8-pound, but right now we've got some rough conditions and that 10 is pretty nice for boat flipping those walleyes. So that's my setup for jig fishing walleyes out here on Leech Lake. Oh, yeah. Nice, Jeff.
Yeah.
Nettable?
Nettable model. Jer knows my age, so he gets the net.
Oh, that is definitely one we want on board.
No
You
pressure.
don't want to lose that one, Jeff.
No pressure. Oh,
Everybody's
he's just
going
barely
hungry
hooked
without
too.
That. Woo! That is amazing. I love those.
Oh, man.
They are so healthy. I mean, they're beautiful fish.
Aren't they really? Yeah, that's amazing. It's the right size one there, huh, Jer?
It is.
It's cool. And they're just barely this time of year. Barely grab and hold, but going up the well. That's awesome. You know, Jer and I are up here in late October, so we start fishing Leech Lake. It's right in our backyard, so we'll start fishing there in the spring, and we'll come up and fish, walleyes, or we'll go hit panfish. And later on in the year, it's this lake is absolutely amazing for walleyes. But Jer and I both love muskies, so guess what? And starting in July through actually November, December, until this body of water freezes up, we'll be up here fishing muskies as well. So just an absolute diverse fishery. You wouldn't believe it, this summer, Bassmasters was up here. Talk about a diverse fisheries, this is it. People come from everywhere to fish here, and there's a reason, lots of fish, and it's just a beautiful place to catch fish.
Boat control is so important in any fishing situation, and out here in the big water, it really is a big deal on how you're positioning your boat. I don't know if you can see it or not, but there's some pretty big waves right now out here, and what we're doing is basically just kind of slip drifting. So I've got the bow pointed into the wind and then just kind of basically underpowered. So I'm still able to maintain my nose position into the wind, but then we're slowly drifting back and just kind of dragging these jigs. And one thing about when you're choosing a trolling motor is getting one that has a long enough shaft length if you're going to fish in big water. So if you're fishing a lot of small lakes, you don't necessarily need to have this is a 60-inch shaft on here. You might not think you need it, but if you're planning on fishing big water, I can promise you are going to want to have that to keep the trolling motor in the water. And then additionally, making sure you're well powered. So this is the Ultrex. It's the 36 volt 112, and then down below I've got the Dakota Lithium 100 amp hour batteries powering this thing, and it's pretty remarkable. Those things just power this thing all day. So I can be spot locked, fish a 12, 16 hour day in this thing and never have to worry about running out of juice. So boat control is a big deal, and making sure you've got the power to go into the wind and then the juice to back it up.
Got one.
Nice.
It's another one for the old
All right, good job, buddy.
box, Jer. The light bites, man. Holy
They
cow.
are just,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Awesome.
That makes me happy.
Wow.
Oh, I think we're gonna have to have an office fish fry, and Mike
think
Keener
so.
should do the frying and the cleaning.
We can make that a bit of a annual tradition, Jer.
We can.
Little
This is
fish
fun.
ball, fish fry, huh?
Yeah, man.
It's awesome. Into the box. Keep it count. Ooh, I like that. Walleyes. I'm gonna catch up with Jer here by the end of the day. Likes to get a good jump on you.
Oop, right under the boat again. Like literally right under the boat.
Hey, you're getting it, Bubba.
Now you're getting it. Boy, you really got to let him take it, don't you?
Ned. Flips.
Yeah. Pretending we're bass fishing out here. I love this lake, and I fished it my whole life, and one of the fish that I don't target enough out here this year, or really ever, is walleyes. It's probably the fish I target the least, but just thinking back on this year, I've had out here, caught some big largemouth, caught smallmouth out here, up to 6 pounds, muskies to 50 inches. We've caught huge crappies out here, and you think of a lake where you can catch fish of that size and then come out and get a meal of walleyes like that. And I know guys who fish walleyes. Like my buddy Toby, he catches some really giant walleyes, and the guys at Leisure do really, really good out here too. But this really is truly an amazing lake for big fish, and of course you can get into some sweet action too. I'm blown away, Jeff, that like when out here in June, you couldn't get within 60 feet of these things, and now we're in like 10 feet of water. Most of my bites have been like under my feet. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, yeah. Got one. Ooh, there's an over.
Is it?
Peel and drag.
Oh, Jeff, way to go, buddy. It's pretty cool to go through. I mean, when we were rolling through on side imaging, you can just see mark, 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 mark. Stop, like electronics don't lie.
Ooh, baby, coming up. Nice, there we go.
Wow. Man, we should call him Dr. Simpson because it's the clinic back there, huh?
There you go. That fish ate a jig, and 90% of the time they're gonna eat jigs. Leech Lake is just a dynamite place to come catch a bunch of walleyes. Dinner. Love it.
Oh, I just got bit.
You got a bump? Here's on.
Yep. Man. Ooh, ooh. Ooh, nicer.
Oh, there you go, Jer.
Ooh, digging, digging, digging. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh yeah. Ooh, that one actually ate it.
Nice.
All right.
All right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. That's a sweet fish.
Nice job.
Some of that.
Day of walleye fishing.
Oh, this has been an amazing day of walleye fishing. Holy smokes. Look at that. Cool. Finally, just really hammered it down. It's been pretty cool just working back and forth and working jigs and minnows. It's a fun bite. I don't do it all that often, but man, it's just the way they bite those things is just so fantastic. Get to feel them grab it, reel down, and hammer time. It's awesome. Beautiful Leech Lake walleye. This is a special place to me, and I'm sure for many of you out there too. It's such a beautiful location right here in north central Minnesota, an amazing multi-species fishery with diverse habitat, and can be some absolutely unbelievable fishing, not only for trophies, but also great eater fish too. Awesome day on the water, Jeff.
I bet you that you know people that you would say are religious. You hear the term, they're very religious. They pray over their meal, they raise their hand to God, they acknowledge God. At lunch at work, they're reading a Bible or a little booklet of some kind that is uplifting. You know, all of us, we spend time, you know, feeding our body, trying to keep ourselves as healthy as we can. Our mind is important. We keep ourselves refreshed, tuned up to the things in the world around us. You want to be cognizant of everything around you. But your body, your mind, and your spirit man needs food too. And your spirit man is generally fed by somebody sharing into your life. Your man, I'll call it your man or woman of God. And these are people that are people of faith that write or read or do things on television, Christian ministries that when they talk to you, they talk to your heart. Yeah, you know, you listen, you could feel the presence of God through them to you. I got a few of them. I support many ministries. This is the Billy Graham organization. It's been around forever. And Charles Stanley, he went home to be with the Lord not that long ago. Great, mighty man of God. I still love all his stuff. Joyce Myers, and one of the few women that have a high outreach ministry in the Christian world today. Great teaching. I love her stuff. I've been following it for years and years and years. But that's just three of them that on a regular basis feed my spirit. They say things and it's all practical, down to earth stuff that I can relate to. And do you have a person that you could say is my man or woman of God, somebody that you look up to? And in many cases, you're thinking right now, some of you are, yeah, my grandmother, my uncle, my sister, she's really religious. Yeah, the list goes on and on, the person you work with. But it's a good thing. It's a good thing to have somebody that you could look to for spiritual guidance, spiritual uplifting. The world we live in today, we need a whole lot more of that. You know, there's so much negativity out there. We need the positive word of God coming from the Bible and many people, men and women, that can deliver it to us in an uplifting way. It just makes life a whole lot easier and a whole lot peaceful. I just wanted to share that with you. Some of you are going to appreciate it. Some of you are just going to go, oh, good, no big deal. I'm going on with my world. That's just something I had to share. I believe that it's going to touch some of you to step up a little bit in your faith walk with the Lord. Just shared with you from my heart. Hey, from all of us here at The Edge, have a good fishing season. We'll see you on the water.
Closed captioning is provided by Smooth Moves, adjustable boat seat suspensions for a smoother ride. This segment is brought to you by Wavy Label Eyewear. Backed by a lifetime warranty, we see what others don't.
So that was on a number 8 shad wrap.
Your style of boat control is really key.
One that was there from the very beginning.
You want to be able to see in the water. The adventure begins.
We are loaded for bear. We got
There's
pikes.
so many different ways to fish for walleye. Dependability and efficiency.
Simple, fast, and easy.
The best rods on the planet. They like to eat when you're throwing the right thing.
You don't have all bluebird flat calm days.
Just a perfect eating size fish. See, that's what I'm talking about, these Daiwa drags.
We got walleye stuff, we got crappie stuff, we got pike stuff.
This boat is rigged up about as nice.
Easy to use, and it flat out works.
It's a must-have when you're talking about big waves. Well, these trout are so darn tough.
Incredible 11-year warranty.